Hey, hey, hey. It is officially old man sweater weather. Say that 5 times fast. Happy Friday. Okay, it's Cade coming back at you on Friday at the Beaver Bunch. This week we're talking about younger GLBT family. We're talking about how young is too young to know that you're gay or that you're trans or that you aren't inside the social box that you've always known. Is it a phase? When's too early to come out? And how do you really know? It's a lot. Those are a lot of questions, especially at 13. I can imagine that it's a little overwhelming to answer them all by yourself, so that's why we're here. The girls did a really good job of covering the gay, lesbian sector of it, so I guess I'll jump into transgendered kids, which is somewhat of a controversial issue because there's a debate on whether or not parents should allow their transgendered children to transition medically, and how to know it, that it's for sure, how to be certain that it's not a phase and that they won't regret it when they get older. So there are a lot of conflicting views when it comes to this, but as you know, transgendered is an umbrella term that mostly means that your head and your body don't match, that you feel like you were born a different gender, sexual assignment than you actually are, and most of the time people end up doing what they feel necessary to fix it. So I put a bunch of resources on this side, maybe, I don't really remember, about transgender kids. The 2020 special that everyone knows so well, and a couple of other clips from some studies that have been done. So check those out. There are tons and tons of genetic gender disorders and variations, and they're just now coming to light, and people are gaining tons more education on them. So it's good. It's good to get them out into the social venue and discuss them a bit. So, as far as my personal opinion goes, I personally didn't know at 12 or 13. I wasn't sure. I couldn't be certain because I had no outlet. I had no education. I think it's really, really cool that kids these days are growing up in a society where they have options, where it's okay to be different and it's okay to want a different or better life for yourself. And the fact that parents and teachers and counselors and friends and family are being so supportive in letting them figure it out for themselves is a huge step, I think. There's always the talk about, what if a girl is just a tomboy? What if she just hasn't found her feminine side yet? Or what if a boy just doesn't want to play sports, but that doesn't mean that he's any less of a boy? I think that in major, severe cases, that the kids just decide for themselves, I mean, if you've never told a 5-year-old that that it's not okay to be in one way or the other, and they've decided for themselves at 5 that this is how they are, then how can we fault them for that, Not every 3-year-old boy wakes up and calls himself a she, or not every 11-year-old, wants to have a different life than they're supposed to have. I'm rambling a bit because it's a really touchy subject on kids, because they're the generation of our future and they hold a lot of weight, and we don't want to push kids into anything that isn't right, that they're not ready for. I think the coolest solution that maybe not everyone knows about as far as medical transition goes is, say you're 11 or 12 and you haven't hit puberty yet, but you think that your child, or you think that you personally, if you're 12 right now, just don't fit. Maybe you feel like you're trans, or you feel like you could be, or maybe you feel like you're gender neutral. If you're a guy, I think they have them for girls too, but I haven't done any research on that. But I know that they have hormone blockers for guys, for biological males, that will stop testosterone from making all the changes that it makes during puberty. So it doesn't get rid of the testosterone, it doesn't supplement it with estrogen, it's just a hormone blocker. So that once you stop taking the hormone blocker, if you decide that you're not that you don't want to transition medically, or that you're not trans, or that you want to give it a try, then you can just stop taking the hormone blocker and the hormones will start working. So I thought that was a really, really cool scientific solution to maybe giving the kids more time, or giving yourself more time to figure it out. Because I know once hormones hit, it's really, really hard to come back from. So I think a lot of kids at 11 or 12, at the preteen age nowadays, are confused about being trans, or maybe about falling on one side of the fence or the other, because of the prominence of the gay culture being so socially accepted. Let me unpack that a little, because I don't mean it offensively. It's great that gay community is more apparent and it's more prevalent in normal society as far as Middle America goes, but at the same time, it's sort of one sector of a larger community that hasn't really gotten much attention because of the baby steps, right? So I think that when being gay, or trying to be gay, had a huge influx of people or attention or media, then I think a lot of people got confused about who they were, what they wanted, or if they were okay. Okay, I'm rambling. Basically what I'm trying to say is that kids in my generation and in later generations have been taught and educated that being gay is okay. That being gay is not the end of the world, and you can live just as happily as your true self if you're gay than if you're straight. And that was never really shed any light upon. And so when I was younger, I did not have a male influence at all. I had no reason or viewpoint to say, oh, I'm more like that than I am like this. And so I didn't get that opportunity. I didn't have that education. And had I had that influence, maybe, I would have chosen to transition a lot sooner, because I would have seen the differences in gender roles and the options that I have, and I would have had more education on it. But instead, I was raised by women that I love, and I've always known sexually that I've been attracted to women, so women was all the background that I had. So therefore, I thought that I was gay for the longest time. And it just never quite seemed to fit, I just was never happy enough with it. So I think the best thing possible is just education and patience. I think that kids are going to be kids, and I think that if you're an adolescent and you're figuring it out, don't let anyone rush you. And at the same time, don't let anyone tell you that it's a phase, or that if you're ready to do something that you shouldn't rush it. If you've decided, and if you have given it time, and you've come to this life realization, then why not start living? I think it's as simple as that.